Welcome to Marriage Monday with Jeremiah and Savannah Jennings. The Jennings own Growing Green Landscapes and are very happily married. In this podcast, Jeremiah and Savannah discuss the wins, losses, good times, bad times, and everything in between pertaining to owning a business while maintaining a healthy marriage along the way. We hope you enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. Thank you for tuning in for another Marriage Monday, because that's what we have coming for you today. We're at almost half a year of doing this thing. If maybe we've already passed a year by now. I'm terrible at keeping up with episodes and how many we've actually done and things like that when it comes to the Marriage Monday. Let me see real time. 20. Oh yeah, we're over half a year. This is going to be episode 29. So we are rocking and rolling with this thing. We did not know what Marriage Monday was going to be when we first got started. And it's turned into something really unique, really fun. It's kind of unique to our show, and I'm proud of it. I'm excited for the future of what we're going to do here, the people that are going to get to help, and the people that we get to connect and network with. Savannah isn't with us today, so I'm rolling solo, but I have some awesome guests coming to join us, and I'm very, very excited for what we're going to get into. And this is a returning guest of the show, Paul and Kim Capote from Miami. Did I say y'all's last name right?
Got it. You got it.
Nice. I've been practicing.
Everyone has their own way to say it. It's all good.
How do you say it?
It depends. You know, if I want to remind myself of my high school teachers, just Capote. But it's Capote in Spanish, but in English it's Capote. Yeah, what is that? However.
Yeah. I can't get the accent down, so I do the best I can. But we're super excited to have y'all on today, guys. Paul, your episode was really awesome. It's one of the highest downloaded episodes that we have to date. People love that show, and I know you've made your rounds on the podcast before, on other podcasts, but I'm excited to have you and Kim with us today because, and it's Kim. Is it okay to call you Kim? I know Kimberly is your full name, but do people? Okay. Well, I'm excited. I want y'all to kind of just take the show and run away with it. I want you to tell us a little bit about, I guess, yourselves and how y'all got together. But then starting the business together, running the business together. Y'all are unlike any guests that we've had so far on Marriage Mondays. We were talking about that before we record. Caleb and Brittany, we had them on at the Hype House last year, but that was kind of before this whole thing, and we didn't really get into everything that I hope we get into today. Y'all are the only two guests that we've had that work in the business together, as far as I know. Forgive me if I'm forgetting something, but I'm pretty sure this is it. So I'm excited to hear that dynamic, and excited to hear how y'all can help other people out there, because it'll help me. Even if Savannah gets into the business one day, it'll really help me. So I'm excited. I want you to just take it and run with it. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and how y'all met, and then just kind of transition into the business and how y'all got started.
Thank you. This is definitely a special episode because wifey's on. So
Yeah.
Ladies first. I'll let her start.
I'll start it off. So we met about 11 years ago, I would say now. We actually met through mutual friends, two friends. They were dating, and we met through them, and we've been dating ever since. I've been helping him with the business for about 10 years, I would say now. This year is actually my first year officially as an employee of PGL on payroll. I'll have a W-2 for the first time this year, so I'm excited about that. I personally am a legal assistant and a yoga instructor part-time, so this is the first year that I'm really helping him with the business a lot more. And I'm usually behind the scenes. I'm the accounting, I'm the assistant, I answer the phones.
There's a lot of hats.
I'm his psychologist, a lot of things. Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's a big role in the company there. You wear a lot of hats. And it's really cool hearing your own payroll and stuff, though. Paul, go ahead and take it away and see whatever you were going to get into, and then we'll go from there.
No, for sure. So I guess my point on that, definitely, she helped me on early in the beginning stages of our dating. And that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to touch up on. You know, there's a lot of distractions now in the dating world. You know, hopefully, you know, most people listening to your show already have their partner. But, you know, when I was young and there was a lot of distractions, Miami, there's plenty of distractions, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it was a huge turn on for my girlfriend to be interested in helping. She was asked questions. Hey, what about this? Or I could do some invoicing. That was, to me, the biggest turn on, you know, she could give me, you know, because like my business is more important than anybody or anything, you know, because that's what's going to set up my whole future. So if my girlfriend is interested, now obviously she's my wife, but at the time she, you know, cared, you know, seemed like, you know, and never bashed the business, even though, we're dirty landscapers or whatnot, being young guys, you would, expect these guys doing all these corporate jobs or whatever it is, in the trenches.
That's right. Yeah.
She always respected that. So that was a huge thing for me, and time just started passing really. She started off helping just minor stuff, helping me maybe with the invoicing to clean it up a little bit. And then, tasks started being added. And now, to the work point, obviously she's, on payroll, she's got all these tasks she handles,
Vice president. Forgot to add that. Important.
So she definitely handles a lot of tasks, and I'm very clear with that. Like, hey, this is your part of the business. If you need help, cool. But this is, the help that I need from you. At the end of the day, that's what I need help. I can't do this all by myself.
Yeah. No. So Kim, it sounds like you were pretty interested in the business from day one. But this is a topic that is talked about a lot, and people guys ask this question all the time: what can I do to make my wife more interested in the company, more interested in being involved in the company, in the business? And so it sounds like you kind of naturally gravitated towards that. But what are some things that you would say to somebody who is out there and maybe their wife is like not really wanting to get into it? They just don't. Maybe they're uneducated. They don't know about it. So what are some things that you think, from your point of view, are like, hey, that would be pretty beneficial if I was in that scenario?
I think what really helped me is just the fact seeing how serious he was about his business. First off, I grew up always thinking, go to college, get a degree, get a good paying job. And then I see this, young guy, we were 19 at the time when we met, taking his business so serious. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. He's serious about this, not just a hobby. This is his job. This is really, what he wants to do with his life. So that was a big deal for me. I automatically knew that, failure wasn't an option for him. He was going to try his hardest to succeed in the business. And he always kept me involved. He always was very trusting in me. If anything, I'm always asking him questions, should I do this? Should I do that? He was always very like, you are great. You're going to do great. I trust you. Don't worry. So I think that was a big deal. Keeping me involved, obviously. And yeah, that's basically what helped me to want to help him, and really knowing that he's trying to build a future for us, for a family that we hopefully one day will have. He's trying to build a legacy, and who else better to help you than your own spouse, your wife?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the beginning stages, we talk all the time about how important communication is. And would you say that was something that was crucial to y'all's relationship in the very beginning? Like, was Paul, were you good at communicating that you were so serious about the business? And Kim, were you good at communicating that you really wanted to be involved, like you wanted to be a part of it? Because I feel like if there's a lot of people that are, because in this situation, the situations you're in right now is a pretty common one. One of you was raised, get a college degree, go to school, do all that stuff, then get a job and work a job your whole life. But then you have the opposite side in Paul here. Let's go be an entrepreneur. So there can be a lot of conflict there. We're actually in that same boat. Like Savannah was raised that exact same way you were, of college, get a college degree, work a job, blah, 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 going after that. That's just how it was. And there's nothing wrong with that. For some people, that's good. But it's just, It was just different for us. So what are some crucial things you think for y'all helped bring y'all together and not push each other away, but not push yourselves away from each other because you were on two totally different viewpoints? Does that make sense? Like, what are some things that brought y'all together and said, hey, let's do this together?
Yeah, for sure. I'll handle this one. So kind of to touch up, the dogs.
Oh, they're fine. No, mine are always walking around in here.
Yeah, if you hear a howl, So like kind of touching on what you said earlier, you want your wife to support you and be interested. Show her that you really take this serious. Like she said, I didn't have to tell her that my business was important. No, she knew because she saw I got up before everybody. 5 a.m, I'm up, when everybody's still, like we call it, hugging the pillow, we done 2-3 lawns.
Yeah.
For the time, when I started. So you want your wife to take it serious. You gotta, show her how it's done and show her really that you are serious. Because so many people say, oh man, I wish my wife would help me. And then, they're slacking off and they're not doing this, they're unorganized, so you try to do the best you can to set it up and show that, this really does matter. Like she said, in the beginning, it wasn't always like that. Sometimes she would help me, cool, and she was willing to help, but then things get hot, and this is gonna, this is a very emotional episode for me, because we've gone through that thousands of times where it's like, she's like, oh, but she might say, this is your business. It's like, whoa, pause.
Guilty. Yeah.
This is our business. This is our family. Our kids, our future kids are going to be eating off of this, so it definitely helps. It's always a reminder, but you have to have something to show for it, because once you start generating 30 grand, 40, 50 grand in a month revenue, you start saying, hey, this is what people make in a year. Are we going to take this serious or not? So it's always like, go, she's always ready. She's my go-to. She's awesome. She's always right, the right-hand woman. But it's not going to be easy. It's we're not just like, okay, superpower couple. Our friends call us, yeah, we're the power couple of the group, because we help each other, compared to a lot of our friends might have a business, but then the wife just kind of stands from the sidelines and stuff, and which is okay, some.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's really not.
It's not for everybody.
No, yeah.
Not for I.
So we have our very emotional moments where she can feel like I'm being a little too harsh. And
he made me cry like this week.
Yeah, exactly.
So it happens, but
exactly. So
I have to know that it's for a greater purpose. He's not just being hard on me for no reason. And it's hard to separate that,
Yes, because at the end of the day, it's business. So
yeah,
it's the one thing I say here, no, never. One thing we've had from the beginning, like it was an unspoken rule, is zero tolerance for negativity, zero tolerance for name calling. So even if I felt like she needed to do something, I'd never be like, oh, you're so dumb, or you're so stupid. Never would call her anything even close to that. Yeah. It's always like, hey, this is what needed to get done. She might take it like, oh, I do a lot already, but it's never like in the sense of like degrading or nothing like that. Always respect your partner. And if she, and many times we have the conversation, if you want to help me, then cool. This is hard. If you don't want to help me, okay, but we're not forcing anybody here. Yeah. So she's always steps back and said, no, you're totally right. And then we go even stronger. We always come back even stronger, every time. But it is going to be an emotional roller coaster. It's not going to be easy, but back to that, show your spouse or your partner or vice versa that you are serious, because you can't say, oh, they don't want to help. And then it's like, you don't want to help yourself. Why would anybody want to help you?
Yeah.
So that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. So since y'all brought it up, y'all transitioned us in here, and this is where I wanted to spend a lot of time on today's episode, is the dynamic of you both working in the business together. So we kind of got the history here and how you got started, but let's jump into that and take it as far as you want to take it and be as real as you want to be. What are some things that y'all do? How do you handle your business hats and your marriage hats? Because that's something that a lot of people that are getting started listening to the show, they're young in business, they want their wives to be, their partners to be a part of the business. Well, y'all have been doing it for how long? So remind me, how long has the business been going? You said 19, so 10 years, 11 years?
14 years almost,
14 years, okay. But y'all been together for 10, 11?
Exactly.
Yeah, so pretty much the whole time y'all have been together, you had the business. Yeah,
pretty much.
So y'all have plenty.
Young, it was like
it
still counted, but it was like I was so young that I made like way more mistakes than I probably should have. So.
Yeah, but y'all have plenty of time under your belts to be able to give a little bit of advice on this stuff. So how do you handle that? How do you handle the separating of, hey, this is business talk, this is marriage talk? How do we live our lives in some sort of way where you're not like, you don't just get in a roommate phase? We've had a lot of talk about that before, of like living like roommates and you're just business partners at some points. And so what do y'all do to combat things like that? How have you held a healthy relationship over the 11-year span, 10-year span of y'all being together?
Yeah, you can go first.
I would say it is really hard to keep it separate, because even our dinner conversations are typically about the business.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. The business really is our life. It's a big part of it. So it's not surprising. We've been really implementing our date night. That's very important. Spending time together by ourselves, no friends, no family, just us two, whether it be, a restaurant, anywhere, just consistently meeting once a week as a date, not a meeting.
How beneficial do you think that has been for y'all? Like, speak on that just a little bit, because that's been something that a lot of people have been like, hey, you need to do this and implement this, but you're saying y'all have actually done it. So has it actually paid off?
Yeah, we've been very consistent about it. we don't miss it no matter what plans we have. We always make
It's
sure.
been a couple months.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
been a couple
definitely
months
since
every Friday.
together in the trades at
Pretty
least.
much since together in the trades.
Yeah, we
every
haven't missed
Friday.
Yeah.
We have
Wow.
date night.
Wow.
Yeah, and yes, the business talk comes up, but it's never nothing like too intense. It's more long-term vision,
Exactly.
more of like why, the reminder of why we go through what we go through. And Brian spoke a bit on a podcast the other day about balance. I don't know if
Yeah.
you caught that
Yeah.
episode. And I've heard a few topics like that, and it's very true. If you want to be average, then cool, be balanced.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to live an average life, so it's gonna be a little different, you know. So we question ourselves, like, what do other people do that don't have a business?
Yeah. We literally had that conversation the other man. We had that conversation the other day. Me and Savannah were driving around, and I literally asked her. I was like, "What would it be like to be able to just leave work and go home in the afternoon and sit there and watch TV until you go to bed?"
What do you do?
Yeah.
I guess like, or maybe paint or something.
Yeah.
Yoga, we do yoga.
Yes, people play freaking video games, which is horrible, but whatever, I guess. But we have so much to do. When I come home, I'm typically in the field. So she's like, hey, I got a couple questions, stuff that,
Yeah.
I didn't really answer during the day. So, but I like high intensity. It's not for everybody. I like the high intensity. And at the end of the day, it's very fulfilling. When you look back, there's times, hey, man, it's rough. I get my ass kicked all year. But I look back at what we've built and then like, okay, we're getting somewhere. And more we implement stuff. These podcasts have changed my life.
Yeah.
I send podcasts to so many of my friends, and I'm sure they listen to a quarter of what I send them to.
Yeah.
I listen to 2, 3, 4 a day. We drive a lot, so listening to some music, listen to some beneficial stuff. So that these last couple of years, the podcast has really changed my mindset. Not changed, strengthened really, because we've been going through this for a while, but yeah, there's a lot that goes to it, but you got to stay consistent and continuously remind each other the vision, because it's not all going to be rainbows and butterflies.
No, not at all. And Kim, I didn't mean to interrupt you about the date night thing there. I just wanted to hear a personal, like, how important actually is that. And so y'all are saying it's pretty important. Continue on where you're going there. I think we were just talking about like how you do this, the separating of the whole being roommates and just being business owners, things like that.
I would say, yeah. Actually, I was listening to your podcast with your wife about the love languages.
Oh yeah.
Knowing your partner's love language. I know that for him personally, I know obviously physical touch, but for him it's words of affirmation. So I'm reminding him, he's an inspiration. He inspires me. I'm proud of him. He's doing great in the business. And yeah, know your partner. He's always been very romantic. He'll bring me flowers, things like that. We try to keep the relationship alive. We personally don't have kids yet, but I can imagine, that also becomes a little bit more difficult to keep that strength, that bond. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, your relationship is going to be there forever. You're going to have a partner. You need to make sure that you're honoring them. I don't know. I don't think it's difficult for us to find that balance. It's very natural for us. Yeah,
I was gonna say it's gonna be very hard for me to enter the roommate stage, because just a few hours of me like arguing with her, quote unquote, or us being mad at each other, either one of us are gonna break very fast. Like, all right, that's, we don't like fighting with each other. We don't fight with each other very much. So we've always been good with that, even when we weren't so deep into the business together, even when it was just a couple favors, send a quick bill or whatever. We never really liked fight. That's why actually one of the topics was I bring home a lot of stress. I come home, my head's about to blow from all the guys, the employees, the customers. So one thing I've always made clear with her, please don't make my day any more stressful than it already is. And she always respects that. And she comes home and just
start my day off stressful. Don't end it stressful. give me that stuff for the next day.
Like any other woman, I do, but I try to wait at least from when he gets home, give him some time to relax, and then maybe I'll nag him a little bit.
But I'm very like she said, the touch. Like, if I don't hug and squeeze her a couple of times a day, like I don't know, I feel weird. So that's a big thing. If not everybody's like that, but I think it has a lot to do physiologically, psychologically. Kiss your wife, tell her you love her, 10, 15 times a day, and it really changes perspective on things.
Yeah. We don't hang up the phone without saying I love you ever.
Yeah.
Even if
you could be arguing. It's like, all right, bye, I love you.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, that everything there is real. And I think the balance thing is you have to be. I don't feel like it's as hard when you're both on the same page, and when you both agree that like you're both building this for the future. Your life isn't going to be average. It's not going to be balanced. It's not going to be what everybody else thinks it is. It's not going to be what your friends at the bonfire tonight. It's not going to be like their lives. Like it's not going to be that way, and so you just have to accept that but communicate it at the same time. Communicate it and make sure that everyone knows that both of you know that, and then moving forward, then I think that keeps you out of that quote unquote roommate phase or whatever you want to call it, because even when you are having those business conversations at dinner, you're still like, you're having conversations about both of your futures. Is that the way you look at it? Because like you're saying, your kids are going to eat from this business. Like, so even when it does get caught up in that, sometimes you're not just talking about like, yeah, business is important. It is not, it's not everything, but at the same time, it is kind of everything. You don't have kids yet. That's what y'all are doing. So, well, just, I mean, I don't know. Tell me some stuff about y'all's everyday life, the everyday that y'all both go through. Paul, you're in the field a lot. I know. Kim, you do it, like you said, in a lot of office stuff. So has that ever been an issue of like, man, like Paul, I want you to get out of the field. I want you to be home more.
All the time.
Yeah. And I know that. I mean, especially 10 years into the business. Or 14 years for your whole business length. What does that look like? How have y'all kind of navigated those waters of staying in touch, but also keeping healthy marriage along the way? Like that's the whole point of the show, is we're trying to dig in and dig deep here into some things that y'all have gone through and try to help somebody else with. So guys are in the field every single day. I know that. The guys that are listening in that are in the field, and it's tough. But how have y'all handled that? How have you persevered through that stuff? And just, like I said, maybe communicate that to each other to say this is necessary and things like that moving forward.
For sure. So I guess I'll touch up on this one. So, yeah, definitely I'm in the field. I guess more than I should be. I love the field, and a lot of people, I've spoken to contractors that do very well for themselves and are in the field quite often.
Yeah.
But you really have to time block. And thankfully she's learned a lot. So in the beginning, it's not going to be easy for her to take on that task all by herself. So I know she could do a lot, but there's definitely a point where she's going to need my help or whatnot. But she's very respectful of my time when I get back home. Like she said earlier, she doesn't want to bother me, but I tell her, hey, I started this mess. So if we need to do something, you tell me, hey, we got to send this quote. Even though if it's 6, 7 o'clock at night and I look like I'm tired, I'll tell you if I'm tired, we got to communicate. Hey, I'm tired. To count me out for like today, no serious questions, please. I'm freaking tired. Cool. And she don't have to tell her twice. Like, whatever, cool.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's, like you said, the communication, if you're in the mood for that, awesome, let's knock it out. Just let me know, hey, we got to get this done. But time will start passing, and then I go in the field again, another day in the field, and now it's a week that we haven't sent a quote. And here, Miami, you haven't sent a quote in 24 hours. They're already like, oh, this guy doesn't want the job, So it a lot of this stuff didn't happen overnight. I've taught her a lot. We have a lot of systems through QuickBooks. Our pricing is very automated. So if there's one advice, you don't want to argue with your wife, like make things easy,
That's right. Smart man.
Yeah, because you're gonna argue. You're gonna like, she'll call me, oh, what do you want me to write? And I'll say it in a certain way that makes no sense. Well, make it make sense. I don't know. But in the field, she has to be open to call me. Hey, and we have this talk. This is all actually a great question, because we are going through this challenge a lot, because I'm short on drivers. I could definitely use a foreman. I got a good crew. I have a great crew, but I've been driving a lot. So it comes to a point of the day where I'm like, okay, this is a good time to call my wife and be like, hey, what do we have to work on? So she'll look up, okay, yeah, let's work on this quote or whatnot. But you do have to really time block and just be on the same page.
A lot of communication.
You could be asking questions that are very serious, and you're not paying attention. And that happens to me. I'll be, yeah, let's work on this quote. And then you're focusing on the guys. No, you got to be in the truck. At least let the guys, the guys got to be at that property for at least 2 hours till you check on them. Cool. Go in the truck for a bit. Try little distractions. You're still in the field, but you are attacking some back end tasks, that could still be a thing. But Saturdays and Sundays, we try to take a little time to just bang out all the stuff that got caught within the cracks, that got lost within the cracks throughout the week, and we'll bang it out. But back to balance. Sunday, everyone's hanging out watching TV. We're like, okay, what couldn't we do this week that we could close out to start Monday fresh?
Yeah, I feel like I always see you in the at the nursery on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'm like, man, that's got to be tough. But it sounds like y'all are just building a dream together, and it sounds like a wild ride. But I tell you what, so I don't, like I said, I want to be respectful of y'all's time. We're coming up on 30 minutes here, but I want to get a little deeper here and take it as far as you want to, be as open as you want to be. But I want some things that people can relate with. Would you mind telling us a little bit about maybe some of the failures that y'all have had along the way? Some of the failures that y'all have had within the business, but then also how have you persevered through that in your marriage? Maybe it's, I know you had all your stuff stolen, right? Were y'all married at that point, or was that already, were you? Okay.
We were dating. I mean, it was early on, but no, we actually just got married last year.
Yeah. Y'all were together. Were you together at that point, or dating? So y'all went through that together. You were apart, and so what is that? I mean, just maybe something else. That's just what first thing that came to mind for me that I knew about. But how have y'all handled the failure? Because people have, that's a big thing when you talk marriage and business at the same time. People are like, well, I'm scared. It's the fear of failure. That's what it is. And so how have y'all canceled the fear of failure out of both of your minds and said, hey, we're just going to go all in. We're going to do this together no matter what happens?
Yes.
Well, I would say we're very different in that sense. Paul's definitely more of the risk taker. He goes into things head on. And I'm not. I'm the one that's always trying to play it safe. Like, I don't know, this is not a good idea. So I have to learn to be very trusting in him and have faith in his abilities and his dreams. That's probably been the hardest part. We're different in that. I'm the introvert. He's the extrovert.
But that's the common thing. That's why I wanted to hit on it, is because that's the discussion that we have all the time, is like, the husband is the dreamer, or the one who started the business, the dreamer, the visionary of the company. You're doing a little bit more of the back end stuff. The cat's coming to say hey to us. It's a pretty cat. I'm not a cat person. That's a pretty cat. But that's the way it typically goes. Is the business owner, the foundation, the male is usually the visionary, and it's like, how do you trust them, or how do you, Paul, have you earned her trust? That's something that you can go back to, is like, Kim, what has he done to earn your trust? Like, there's just so many different avenues that we could go down there, because the fear of failure is real, and it's something that I feel like you have to get over if you want to grow a large company. You just have to. You have to both be on the same page about it. But what does that look like for y'all?
For sure. So it's the risk that you're taking with operating a business with your spouse. So if which I have before, I've screwed up on our relationship, and what's going to happen? She's not very happy with me. Now who's going to help me? So now I just put myself in a position where now my whole life, not only business, financially, personally, is now at risk. Now it gives me more of what word? It's I can't even find the word. It gives me more motivation to stay doing the right thing, because I'm here not only for me, I'm here to provide for her. So if I let her down at those levels, it's very, I wouldn't be able to live with that, So the times that I have messed up, I make sure that I prove her that I am serious, and that, I'm here for the long run, and like we said earlier, you want your wife to take you serious, show her by actions, not just by talking. You go out there and if it's with the business, she doesn't think you're taking the business serious, show her what you can do. Or if she doesn't think you take her serious, then you're gonna have to go above and beyond and really show her, not just like, oh yeah, I love you because you're my wife. Like, no, we're gonna go do special things together. We're gonna travel together. We're gonna have, even if you can't go that far, even just a simple date night, the Friday date nights, it's like, what, I do care about my relationship. And that's where she has, had faith in our relationship, when there was times that I was dropping the ball, so it's definitely a risk, because she would tell me, oh yeah, well, guess what? Find someone else to help you,
Yeah.
So, and that's where, the risk you run by having your spouse help you with the business, and I'm not ashamed of talking about any of this because I don't want no one thinking that, oh man, they got it good. And same when you ask me my personal podcast with my business, no, it's ain't all always sweet, and
Yeah.
like a lot of the things that I've gone through, I tend to learn things.
Oh my goodness. We're about to have
learn things. Go head on things, but I typically come back stronger than ever. And I build up, like you said, the theft. I could relate with the theft. I could have either said, let's throw in the towel, let's downsize. I said, no, we're gonna go hit it head on, and we're gonna continue this. Same with my relationship. When we're hitting a rocky road, I double down on my relationship. So and we actually went together in the trades, and that was like showing her, hey, like, look, I am very serious about our relationship, and together in the trades can't be a better place to go, because it's like a marriage counseling event / business conference. So it's like, what better place? So that definitely catapulted us, even though we've always been doing great. But 10 years in, you're bound to go in through some difficulties. So,
oh yeah, I've seen him go through so much. The average person would have gone crazy by now. So I see his resiliency and just the way he keeps on going, moving forward. It's an inspiration to me personally, definitely.
Yeah, I think you go and you build off each other. And when you have two people like y'all that are both motivated, you're both on the same page. That's something that I think will take you and boost you to the level that you want to be at in your business and in your life. And so what does the future look like for PGL? But both of you together, I mean, working, are y'all both gonna stay in the business long term? Do you think you'll both be in the business until the end of time? What does all that look like?
Yeah, it's fun for us. But yeah, I guess
I love it. Yeah, I love being able to spend time with him. He's my best friend. So the fact that I get to work with him too is awesome. I hope to be able to, I mean, I guess it is.
You hope he doesn't fire you?
Yeah, hopefully not.
That's actually a big topic. Actually, glad that we kind of got to stumbled upon that. My dad had a business for many years. He's an aviation mechanic, and he had a big old shop. He downsized, but in my dad's prime, my mom would help because he made big bucks, and he was like, "Hey, honey, help me out." So then she would do what a good accountant does, is try to collect bills.
Mm-hmm.
This guy owes 10 grand. This guy, these guys got airplanes, but they're out in Colombia. Why haven't they paid you?
Yeah.
So my dad would be like, no, those are my friends. Don't know, leave them alone. How could you? And my dad actually felt like my mom was agitating the business too much. And he said, don't worry, just stay home. And it was very, it was very hard for my mom for many, many years. She was obviously very upset at my dad's decision, but they pulled through. My parents have gone through thick and thin as well. But that was a wake-up call for me. Like, I don't want to do that, because my mom lost purpose for many years. She lost purpose. And I'm sure she has those thoughts of like, oh, what do I do if we break up, or all this energy? But that's not where our head's at.
We're trying not to make that an option.
That's not an option. Exactly. But the other way around. Now I want to build my business with my wife the whole way through, and it's funny because then sometimes I'll tell her, she's gotten better at it, but some will owe, and I'm like, they owe money. Yeah, but I sent them the bill, no, send it again till they pay it. You can keep sending it. And she'll be a little shy, and I'll tell her, no, this is go for it, because this, my dad made that mistake, say, oh no, it's okay. No, I can't have no one owe me money. And two, my wife, I want my wife to have purpose in what we do. I know there's a lot of housewives that, they might say that they do it for the kids, but there's that gap, that emptiness of purpose. No offense to women, but women, are produce babies and they take care of babies. That is a foundation of what they're supposed to do. Now what? What else, right? So many women are okay with that, and awesome. They're great mothers, and that's as far as it goes. But I know my mother suffered with depression for many years because she felt like she didn't have purpose. So now if I give her like, hey, this is for real, this is for us, this is for our employees, we're feeding multiple families. Yeah. So it's very fulfilling, So we can't let each other down. We can't let our team down. I have my partner Pacheco, he's been with me maybe 5 years. One of my main guys. He has a kid, he has a family to provide to. So we can't take failure as an option simply.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. What is some advice that you would give to somebody out there, each of you, just somebody who's listening in, a young couple that's in this business journey together, husband, wife, whoever's listening, just what would you give them to say, hey, this is one piece that worked for us that has helped us over the last 10 years, keep a healthy marriage and try to grow the business at the same time?
Go ahead.
I would say the main one is don't be your partner's stress. Don't be an part of your partner's stress.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we kind of touched upon that earlier. Don't add to the stress. The business is already extremely stressful. Even if things are going well, it's still stressful. But I'm a goofball. I always mess around. I was always the class clown. So not everyone's gonna be like that, but my point is make it fun.
Yeah.
Make it enjoyable. If she's gonna help you, make the bet. Don't make it all so agitated. We get in the trenches together and
physically plucking weeds and
she'll help me.
Actually, it's really important. If you are a wife of a landscaper or any contractor, really, you should really just go to work with them one day and you will have a lot more understanding of them and you'll be way more compassionate. I promise you. I know what he goes through and it's hard work. It is physically, mentally exhausting. So that's the main thing. Try to put yourself in their position, in their shoes to understand them better. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, guys. That's something I think everybody can take and relate to and hopefully implement in their lives and their businesses moving forward. One final question that we try to ask all of our guests, and I haven't been doing it much on Marriage Mondays, but I wanted to today because I think y'all both are going to have some good answers here. It's just what is your why? Both of you individually, what is your why for your role in the company?
You go first. Ladies first.
So much pressure.
The why. That's always
my why. I would say building something for our future generations to come. Just to have something for them to, keep near and dear to their heart. Something that I think the business gives us purpose in a way, to build a legacy. Really, that's really our why. We want to be able to build something for our family.
Yeah, I love it.
Definitely. Yes. So to touch on that, for sure, the family legacy, that's always a big deal. We're not just gonna run, even though I don't want a massive corporation, I don't envision that, but definitely a solid foundation, purpose, like she said, like a legacy. You want to leave, a family generational wealth. You want to start that generational wealth. A lot of people tell their, start a trade and then tell their kids to go to school and do something else. Like, I really want my kids to be a part of what I passed on, and so forth. And also for the industry. One of the reasons why I am so involved on social media, I know I'm not nowhere near the biggest landscaper, and I got a long way to go. I'm still a rookie, if you ask me, right? So, but I feel like I'm a face for the community, especially here in South Florida. You guys are more up north. You guys have a definitely a stronger community, even though you guys are a little more separate. We're all separated, but I feel like South Florida has some catching up to do with the Midwest and all you guys up there.
Yeah, no, I agree. All
the YouTube legends are from up there, so that's a big thing for us lately, especially. People are looking up to us, so we're the ones that are gonna talk on this podcast about how to better your relationship with your wife, and is she in the business? Not many people might be thinking about it, but it's up to me, PGL, Paul from Miami Landscaper, the Miami Landscaper, to talk about these subjects, to bring out these things, bring light, to the industry. We've been doing the brotherhood meetups, so I call it like a networking meetup. So trying to build up to what you guys got going on up there. You guys have been doing amazing events. I know Spencer and then Brian, these guys have been crushing it with the events. So I'm trying to bring a little bit of that taste to South Florida, because it's just it's a different world down here, and somebody has to take the lead in this sense. might not have the biggest business, but I want to be the one that gets everyone together and really makes a community out of the landscape industry.
Yeah, man, everyone needs it. I'm in the same boat as you. I agree. I'm in Alabama, so I'm not. I mean, I'm still pretty south. I'm not anywhere near up Midwest, things like that. So the whole southern region, I think, is just behind. We're 2 to 3 years behind the whole community thing. I don't have many people around me who are involved in it, and it's. I love seeing everyone up north that is involved in it, but I'm like you. I'm kind of like, hey, let's bring it down here a little bit. So excited to see what the future holds there. And you're right. I love that you're just a doer. You say, hey, let's fix this. I'm going to be the guy that gets everybody together. Let's do it, and let's build a strong community around this. So that's it's awesome getting able to have these conversations, just being able to hopefully impact somebody else's lives, and just if nothing else, just give them a little bit of motivation at the end of the year, heading into the new year, of just like, hey, we can do this, even though we had failures and struggles that in the past, you made it through them, and you realize that we can do this if we just stick in it for the long haul. So, well, where can everybody find y'all at on social media if they want to connect with you and just maybe ask a question or stuff? Because I know people, this is going to relate a lot with people, and they might want to reach out and just chat.
Yeah, hopefully the women can reach out to Kim here.
Sure. My Instagram is Kimstagram Inc. So that's Kimstagram Inc.
Kimstagram.
That's catchy.
So yeah, the Miami Landscapers, where you can find me on Instagram. I freaking live on Instagram a little more than I should, but
yeah.
Miami Landscaper on Instagram, and like I spoke, I started up a page called the Landscape Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I try not to put my face too much on it. That way people can feel like it really is a community thing. Obviously, I'm at every event, so I'm in the pictures, but I try to keep it very broad. The Landscape Brotherhood. And yeah, Miami Landscaper, just find me on there. Still working on the YouTube, but I'll get there.
Yeah, no, man. Your Instagram is really awesome. It's very clean. It looks very good. I love the Landscape Brotherhood thing, everything you got going on there. And hopefully that thing continues to grow and you get to impact more guys down there near you. Because when you get the guys around you on your side and on your same page, then it really helps the whole industry grow, because you can all raise prices in your area. You can all provide better work. And so we could have a whole other podcast on the importance of that. But I really thank y'all for your time. I think this has been super beneficial, and I'm looking forward to hearing feedback. Is there anything else that you want to leave anybody with that we missed today?
That's good. Just stay in the trenches, baby.
I hear you. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show today. If you did enjoy the show, leave it a big 5-star rating and review. Reach out to Paul and Kim here. Give them a big thumbs up. Say thanks for being on the show, because it means the world to me when guests want to come on. And Paul, the second you messaged me and said, hey, can we do a show? I said, yeah, let's get on the schedule, because I wanted to do it. I wanted to help somebody else out there the way that you helped me on it. Like following on you on Instagram helps me, and following other people helps me. So just creating the content, trying to help everyone else and build the industry and build everybody's lives is something that I'm pretty devoted to, and it sounds like you are too. And I'm very, very appreciative for y'all's time today. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And if you haven't sent your Christmas card yet, I want your Christmas cards. We wanted to catch up with everybody. If you're still sending out cards, I know it's kind of late. You got about a week before Christmas is here, but stick it in the mail. P.O. Box 1091, Trussville, Alabama 35173. That is our P.O. box. I was behind. I said I was going to get that like a month ago, and I finally got it. But that'll be in the show notes. So send it there. I would love to see Christmas cards. And thanks for connecting with everybody here today on the show. Thank y'all for joining us, Paul and Kim.
Of course, it was an honor, a pleasure. It was a pleasure. We had to let this out for the community. Hopefully, it helps.
Absolutely. It's absolutely going to help. It's going to help a ton of people out there, and I can't wait to hear the feedback. So, guys, thanks for tuning in to the show today, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next episode.